What could you help me with? Anything? Like absolutely anything? Okay. Can you help me find my keys? I've been looking for them for hours. Oh, okay. Can you help with the noise from across the street? Okay, look. I've been feeling quite low recently. Can you help me lift my spirits up a bit? I think I'm good. I can read those on my own. Can you at least help me with some cash? Can't you do something that would pay some money and then send it over? No, thanks. It's not what I was looking for. I think that's all.
Okay, so I feel like almost every single day we're now being told that AI can do our job much better than us within 5 seconds and with very little effort and with zero knowledge whatsoever. And part of us understand that we need to jump on this train, otherwise we're told that we're going to be left behind. And then at the same time, a lot of us try to use a lot of these tools and we find them very underwhelming, very clunky. They never really get what we're after. And even when they do get or they do give us results, it's often after many hours of just prompting them on, and we often find that it would be just much easier to do it by our own. I think the frustration nowadays is that a lot of us understand that most likely this is the future and AI will eventually just change how we do everything. At the same time, we do know that a lot of people are just in a rush to sell it to us because they are aware of the fact that this is a gold rush, and right now everybody is very fearful and very anxious about what or how AI will affect their livelihood. So I've put together a little framework that hopefully should help you figure out for yourself if AI can help with what you do, if AI can't and it's not there yet, or if it can help it to some extent, and if so, to what extent can it help you. So I've created chapters for everything so it's easy to follow along. I think a lot of the times we just try to approach it in extremely simple terms and quite general, and often we're being told or sold that this is how we're supposed to use it, but then we end up with very poor results. So to give you an example, if for example I have a company and my company sells fences to homeowners and I want to create a video, I can actually show you this in practice. It's a bit of a stupid prompt, but again, it's just an example, as they would write something like, I want a video about fence building because my company offers this service. And then you'll wait a couple of minutes and then you'll get maybe a result like this. Okay, well, number one, it is impressive that AI can do something like this, but I think there's a lot of issues. For example, if you would be the business owner, you would be like, okay, well, these are not my uniforms. This is not the kind of fences that maybe my company is producing, or maybe this is not the sort of properties we would be looking for. And then you're being told like, oh, all you need to do is you need to know how to prompt it better. And all of a sudden, this AI that you've been told is gonna just get you results in 5 seconds. You're spending now hours and hours prompting it so you can get a result that's closer to what you actually need. And you'll be in this loop of just keep prompting it and burning for credits, and sometimes you're going to get you closer to a better result. Sometimes it's actually going to get worse, and a lot of the times what happens, people just give up altogether, and then they just try to find a solution that doesn't involve AI at all. Okay, so first part, try to take whatever you want to do or whatever it is that you are doing and translate that into a goal. And then what you want to do is take each one of your goals and turn them into sub-goals. Now, let me give you an example. If you want a video for your local business that builds fences, so you can build some brand awareness, local authority, get more jobs, win more business. The way you would translate that into a goal would be that the goal is to build a video about fence building. Okay, so let's have a look at this. Our goal is to build a video about fence building. Now, the sub-goals of this goal would be the elements that go into the creation of a video. So in our case, for example, we would have a sub-goal which will be titled pre-production. We would have another sub-goal which would be titled production, so the actual moment where we go and we film and we create a video. And then we would have another goal called post-production, and this will include elements such as music, editing, captions. Now, each sub-goal is formed up of multiple tasks, so there would be a number of tasks for each sub-goal. To give you an example, for pre-production, you can have your research, so you research the sort of videos you want to take inspiration from in order to have like a successful video. You will have your shot listing here as well, so you're going to plan the kind of shots you want in your video. Now, you will then have your production stage. All those are tasks. Oh, I hope that makes sense. Next step, you want to just create an SOP for each task. You want to then create an SOP for each sub-goal, and the SOP for each sub-goal will be pretty much just an SOP which explains how each SOP for the tasks underneath that sub-goal work together and come together to just accomplish the sub-goal. And then, of course, you're going to have a final step, which is going to be your SOP for your goal, which will explain how all the SOPs for the sub-goals come together and communicate with each other in order to achieve the end product. In case you don't know what an SOP is, an SOP stands for Standard Operating Procedure. A lot of you already know what an SOP is, and it's pretty much just a set of instructions of how a task needs to be completed. Now, if you want an example of how this SOPs should look like, I can show you something very quickly. Okay, great. So this is, for example, an SOP that we send over to all the editors that help us with our work. There's multiple ways to write an SOP. The way I do it is like, first of all, I start with a content of library. So first of all, I have here about 20 to 50 examples of our previous work. So whenever an editor comes and they need to do an edit for us, they know exactly how things need to look like. And then here we explain in a lot of details how everything gets done in terms of where they're gonna find the footage, how they can handle the footage, how they should name each individual draft, the components of the edit, so we can very simply address things with specific names whenever we refer to a specific section of the video. We also give a lot of details about how they are expecting to use B-roll, how many pieces of B-roll they should be using per video. And then we also have very detailed explanations about the sort of music they should use, the sort of captions they should use, the effects, how many effects they should be using per video, how many transitions they should be using per video. So you want to be able to go in as much detail as possible. This is an example for editing workflows, but you can use this for absolutely anything you do yourself, be it that you are manufacturing something, you are doing a sales process. So for example, you can have like an SOP for all your sales frameworks and appointment setting, reporting, basically anything that happens and gets done by humans in your company or that you yourself are doing, you should be able to translate that through a number of instructions in an SOP. And quite a bit of time discussing about goals, sub-goals, tasks, SOPs. Now, where is AI coming into this whole process? Because this is why you are watching this video. So let's take first of all a look at our whole process so far. We have our goals, sub-goals, and each individual task. Now, the way we are going to handle AI from now on is, instead of going from goal straight to AI and expecting AI to achieve the goal for us, what we want to do is feed each one of our SOPs for each task and each sub-goal to an AI and observe the result it brings to you and the performance it generates. And then we can evaluate whether the work is something an AI can handle entirely, something only a human can do, or something where an AI only contributes a certain percentage, like 50% of the total. So let's explain this once again. Now, what you can do, you can bring your SOP for your research process, for example, from your sub-goal 1, let's say in this case, into an AI, and then you can see if AI can just accomplish this task. This way, you isolate part of your entire goal to a very specific task, and you're able to see if AI is at least able to do this. This way, you're able to move progressively through your entire list of tasks and see how well the AI can cope with this. And you are then going to find out that AI is able to accomplish some things, but for example, is not able to accomplish other things. For example, transport. If you actually need to move to a location or you need to bring people to a location, of course, this is something that AI is not going to be able to help you with. So this is still something that is going to be very human dependent. Filming itself, again, something that is going to be very human dependent. And then you're also going to have different sort of tasks. Let's say that in the editing process, the AI can help you sort out some clips, or it can come out with some basic editing ideas, but you're left overall dissatisfied. And then you would say that, okay, it can help me organize my footage, but when it comes to actually making some creative editing choices, it's quite poor. And then you still want to be the one that makes the big decisions and does the work, because you know that your output is going to be way higher quality than that of the AI. Actually, you're going to often find that majority of the time AI cannot do majority of the goals that you have, but you will figure out that it actually is very good at doing 50% or 70% of the tasks involved that are part of this goal. So this is a much better way, I think, to use AI and approach AI in a way that doesn't get frustrating, because when you just use the main goal as your only input, the AI fails, and then you get frustrated because you just think that, like, well, it just doesn't work. Whereas in reality, it's just specific elements that are not working. You are also hopefully gonna just use this to figure out better what are the tasks and the activities that you really enjoy that are still very human dependent, and you can just double down on this. Now, I have left a lot of things out. I think a lot of people would mention things that, for example, right now, tools are able to come up with the SOPs on their own. They're much faster, and they actually can come out with a better structure of dividing goals into sub-goals. This video is not about this. The whole purpose of this is just to get rid of all the frustration a lot of us feel as we try to use these new tools. Also, if you want the SOP that I've showed you for the editing workflow, feel free to just message me and I'll be able to send that one over to you as well. Okay, that's it. Thank you for watching.